Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark mystery movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark mystery movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark mystery movies. And this is the
Deck
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hi there, everybody.
boy.
Welcome.
Hump
Happy
day?
Wednesday. It is Hump Day.
Hump day?
It is Hump Day.
Sure is.
It's great to be here today on
Happy
a
Hump Day.
Wednesday.
Happy Hump Day. I do that. Listen.
yeah, every hump day.
Yeah.
Happy hump day.
Happy Hump Day.
Day.
Yeah, doctor.
Happy Hump Day.
That's right.
To all you Hump
Doctor,
Day
hardly knew
fans
her.
out there, happy Hump Day. It's great to be here today. We're talking another mystery, one that we've been asking
We've
for
been clamoring.
a sequel for it seems
2
like
years?
ages. I don't
Feels
know.
like 2 years. It
Been a
was
while.
a year and
last
a
year,
half.
It
wasn't
could have been before COVID. At this point, I don't even
Yeah.
know. I don't even know. It's
good
been
question.
forever. But
I found out at the Emmys last Sunday, I wasn't there, don't worry, that Modern Family
Don't worry.
was over. I thought you were gonna ask for sure. Modern Family was still running new episodes when COVID started. Can you believe that?
No.
I just
Wow.
I can't get over that. I thought for sure Modern Family was done a couple years before then, but nope. Turns out still running new episodes.
that's right. That's right.
Crazy town.
So this could have aired any time. The first one, I don't know, but I'm
looking
excited,
it up. Don't
excited
worry.
that
Oh,
I've been
great.
doing it. Brian, you were just telling me about how you were kind of beginning to plan on some new holiday traditions that you're thinking about.
Almost exactly a year and a half ago, Bram, which in Hallmark world is an eternity.
A year and
Go
a
ahead.
half feels
Back
long.
to you. Yep.
You were telling
Yeah.
me you have some traditions that you're thinking about that you're kicking around the old noggin that you might want to do this year. Well, what are those?
Yeah, in addition to the regular
The
making
classics.
eggnog, fresh
Yeah.
eggnog,
Nog o'clock here at the
Nog
office.
o'clock, obviously sangria, the fudge,
The fudge.
the fudge, which marathon fudge gonna hit
Marathon,
real.
Marathon
dude, the
fudge is gonna hit
marathon
great.
fudge hits different.
Should we do it? Should we have fudge at the marathon?
Should we
You
do
should
it?
have.
Okay,
you
I
should
wasn't-
make
I wasn't
fudge, but you do
positive.
have to bake. You have to bake a
bake
pie.
the fudge? Yeah, you bake it.
Do it
well,
with the
I was
mint
gonna
in
say-
there, right? Didn't
Yeah.
you do some with the mint
Yeah,
in
we
there?
do some
Come
mint.
on.
Mint. Oh man, Candies,
medicinal,
mints.
medicinal mint.
Yeah, medicinal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it'll
on board.
cure everything. Yeah. Also,
Oh, mint. My bad.
Yeah.
That's my bad. My fault. But aside from that,
yeah. The there were a few new things that
Yeah.
I was thinking about trying, and
Yeah.
what I was trying to say.
Why is this so tough for you, Brian? Earlier, you couldn't
wouldn't stop talking about it.
I just I don't want to give them away.
it was not. Why?
It's
You don't
like
wanna
what
give
if
'em
other
away.
people start
You came
doing
in this
the
morning like you had
traditions?
done 3 or 4 rails of Coke. You were so excited about all these new
That-
traditions.
that's
You-
one of them. Thanks for giving it away.
You know, you shared with us 5.
Yeah.
Just share
Just
one
do
of
the
them.
top- the
share
top
one
2.
of them right
All
now.
right. All right. So karaoke, Christmas karaoke, where we go to the neighbor's house.
That's caroling.
Yeah. That's
This is different.
How is it different?
It's
You said
Christmas.
it's Christmas karaoke when you go to the neighbor. What do you do? It inside the neighbor's house?
Yeah,
Do
you go in.
You
and-
bring the sound.
Yeah.
it's a
System.
Christmas party.
Yeah, you have
It's
to
a Christmas-
sign up.
it's a Christmas
you sit on the
party.
couch and wait till it's your turn.
Your new tradition is showing up at a neighbor's
Next
house
door
and doing
you
Christmas karaoke.
Go on in. You sit on the couch, wait till it's your turn.
Great. That's a good one, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Now somebody's gonna steal it.
Somebody's
Thanks a
gonna
lot.
steal it.
Yeah, but
can't
why
it
do you
anymore.
care if someone steals it? Like you're not.
Then it won't be
It's a
like my
Christmas tradition. It's not
anymore.
meant to be. Time out. You think if somebody has a Christmas tradition and somebody else steals it, they can't do it anymore?
Well, if you haven't, if it's
What
been
if I
done
did
yet,
exactly what Brand did on the outside of my house? What if I waited for him to put his up, whatever that
Matched
was,
it, yeah.
and I just took a picture
Oh,
and
he'd be
paid somebody to
infuriated.
recreate it exactly?
Well, first of all, it'd be really difficult because our houses are structured differently. But secondly, I would love it.
Yeah,
I would
It
love
would
it.
look
that's my
pretty
point.
nice.
Yes.
Is he's
I've
saying
been
if,
asking you to decorate your house for years now.
but if I came in,
if
I'm
somebody
like,
wants to listen, I've said it before. If people are out there listening with money, there are billionaires listening, maybe. If you want to pay to take down the trees, there's a line of trees in between my house and Brand's house. It'll cost you $3,000. Brand, I want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. I think that's fair for both of us. If you want to
We're in
take
a bit
down
of a
those,
feud. We're in a bit of a battle.
if
little
you don't
feud,
want to
yeah.
take down, if you want to pay to take down those trees, I will work with Brand on us doing a joint costume, a joint decoration. Not joint costume.
Halloween is on the table.
A joint decoration for Christmas. We can do a full thing. I don't care because I'll have those trees gone, and that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd
We
be in the
will do a
Christmas
joint.
spirit.
We will do a joint costume.
We will
yeah,
not.
you've talked about
of
that.
your choosing.
Dominic the donkey, I'm the head.
the latest Halloween. We were talking about it with Jax last week about Halloween and costumes and stuff. The latest rumors is my kids might be Minions and I might be Gru.
That's a pretty good one.
My kids think they're going to be X-Men because Jay, one of my two kids who is Bane this year, already decided we have the costume locked in.
Can't change it.
And
Can't
then
go
Ray
back
is
on.
going to be Wolverine. He's sitting on the couch and he just goes, I'm going to have to be by myself when we trick or treat. I was like, why? He's like, because Ray, Grizz, and Gav are all going to be X-Men, and I'm going to be Bane. I'm in Gotham City. I'm not with them, Dad. That's what he said. And I was like, well, I can't argue with the logic, but we're all going to trick or treat together anyway.
Yeah, and also things could change over at the Grey House. A lot's still up in the air.
Yeah.
Things aren't decided yet. There's lots of scuttlebutt. There's lots of arguments.
That's a
When
pretty
do they
good
have to have it
one.
locked in so you can buy the costumes? What do you think? Second week of
Halloween
October?
Eve?
No, yeah, come on, come to turn of the calendar. I think turn of the calendar. And I live and die by the calendar.
You're a
love
big
you are a
calendar boy.
You know that
That's
about
why
me.
you came in, you looked at the calendar, you're like, oh, it is hump day.
Yeah. What are your boys? What are your boys thinking? Have they started talking about it yet?
Well, Jonah, the youngest, is doing like a glow suit.
Oh,
thing,
those
where he's
are
like
fun.
a stick guy.
But the
Stick
only
glow
problem
suit
with
thing,
that
yes.
is you gotta wait until it's dark to trick or
Real dark.
treat.
It's gotta
And
be
that's
I
tough.
don't want to be
dark.
part of that.
No, I want to be done before it gets dark.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
And Ethan, I don't know. The older one, we haven't figured that out quite yet.
Does Ethan not care as much?
Yeah, no, I don't think he does
Yeah.
about the costume. He's just not. He'll do whatever.
He's your kid.
So yeah, basically, yeah. I'm like, I get that. You
My
want to
kids-
just put a hook on your
We
hand
have
like
to,
I did?
we have to stop. My kids are not allowed to talk about their Halloween costumes in June and July because it gets crazy
boy.
competitive. They start arguing. They start complaining. They change their mind every day. And we're
God
like,
forbid they start singing about it at
Yeah.
the table.
I
Oh,
just
yeah,
am
for-
like,
oh, man.
no.
Add it to the rule
Absolutely
book.
not. Yeah, you get it.
Let's talk about the cases of Mystery Lane.
If we have
colon, death is listening.
Death is listening.
So listen up.
Good one.
Because here's what happened.
Nailed it.
Nobody's
So
taking a drink on that one.
Brian, hit me with one more of those traditions real quick. You don't have to explain it. Just hit me right now.
Give
Go.
me
All right, I'm gonna do roof of my house. I'm gonna get one of those things
Ladders?
Called, no, you get on it, you hold it, zip line,
Zip line.
Okay.
straight down
Straight
into
down?
the tree, and knock it down. Christmas tree. That's how I'm picking the Christmas tree.
I have a ton of questions, but we have to get going.
It's a good one.
We'll talk about
Nobody
it. when we
One of the
get-
worst
we'll
times
talk
I've ever heard.
We got to
TM.
see how we're doing. I hate it.
You're going to have to saw that thing a lot. It's going to be 90% sawed at least.
A little. I saw a little.
It's a
How
lot
big
saw.
do you think you are?
How big do you think that is? A tree in your yard at Christmas? You got a Fraser fir growing in your front yard?
No, I gotta go find one.
And
And,
then
set
you
up
got-
the
and then
So
zip
you
you're
gotta
going
line.
to
set
zip line
it up.
all the way to
You're
the
going to
tree?
buy the tree, set it up, zip line, and knock it down.
No, I'm gonna go find a tree. Say that looks nice.
Zip line
Do a
all the
little
way to it.
math, zip line, build it straight to it. Take
What
it
you
with me.
could do is you could go and get the tree.
Yeah, set it
and
up.
like bring it back to your house, put it in the yard, and
Yeah.
then do it.
That's exactly what.
Sure.
His version is a long zip line. A lot could go
Yeah.
wrong.
This is probably-
this is what happens with me.
this is why we brainstorm. This is
kernel
why
of
we
an
talk
idea.
it
That's
out.
right, and we figured it out.
It's not
That's
a bad
probably what I'll
idea.
do. Nobody
it's
else
not
can
a
do
bad
that.
idea. And it went a little something like this. In 1994, this woman's running away from this dude in a hood. She gets to a building. She's messing around with her keys. She drops the keys. She gets shot.
Gunshot.
The killer leaves a note on her. Ate it on her. And cut to modern day, Birdie
right.
and Alden are listening to a true crime podcast about that very murder, the Roxdale murder. Bum, 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 bum,
What is
bum,
love?
bum.
Baby, don't hurt me. And it's Roxdale Killer, right?
Yeah, what did I say?
Roxdale Murderer.
Ah,
TRK.
No,
or as
yes,
I call
yes.
the real killer.
the real killer. Roxdale killer. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
TRL.
TRM. TM.
It was Carson Daly.
Total Request Murder.
It is it's their favorite
I would do a
podcast.
Carson Daly imitation, but it would just be me
Yeah,
talking
and
a
you
little lower.
would people at home wouldn't be able to tell the difference. For all they
Welcome to Total
know,
Request
Carson
Live.
Daly's the
That
third
was
host
Lin-
on this show.
That was Limp Bizkit.
That was crazy. This is their favorite podcast. That's Dan doing Carson Daly. That was really good.
man. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That was really good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So thank
It's
you
like
for
I'm right here in
complimenting
the
yourself.
room. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. It is. It's their favorite podcast. They absolutely love the host, Laurel St. James, Rebecca's sister. And the next day, Birdie bumps into her high school.
Birdie bump.
Her high school friend / rival,
Frenemy.
Kristen Duckburn. Man, that bird, that duck got burned. And they agree to go, get together. You can bring Alden. I'll bring my boyfriend Tom. It'll be a lot of fun. They go over to Kristen's house, and Alden starts poking around, leaving his bottle caps places that they don't belong, and finds out that she is a book publisher, and one of the books that she has published is one by Laurel St. James. They are shocked to find this out. And it's like, hey, if you want to meet her, they could probably make that happen. They can't believe it. They also can't believe that her boyfriend is Tom, the air quotes guy from the first movie. I remembered him right away. I didn't need a refresher. Listen, I remember things from a year and a half ago. Everyone knows it about me.
Oh, yeah.
I never
Locked in.
Yeah. But when everything's done, when everything's done and accounted for, it actually ends up being a good night.
Beat a dead horse.
Cut to Laurel St. James. She's walking into her podcast studio along with other people that are working there, and it's clear that some people don't love Laurel St. James. Some things that she's annoying and mean. Some things that she's old and I'm better.
Some things.
So she is recording what she says is her final episode of her series, Whodunit. But a guy comes in and shoots her. They leave a note on her signed TRL. TRK.
Total Request Killer.
That was not Biscuit.
The Roxdale Killer is back,
Gunshot,
baby.
bang. You did.
In other news, Dan, quiet down.
It's unbelievable.
Dan, I'm trying to do this.
It's unbelievable. It's uncanny, really.
In other news, there's a mouse in the house, and Alden is committed to catching that mouse himself. Doesn't want to get wants to protect the house. This house is mine. They are shocked to find out that air quotes wants Tom and Birdie to help with this case because all the people that work at the studio are different. Eccentric. Tom just doesn't understand them, and so maybe let's get the weirdos
Let's get
over
some
there.
weird not professionals in to
That's exactly
help
right.
with this situation.
it.
That's what cops do, right?
My understanding.
I
at
don't
least.
know the things about this person. Let me go find somebody off the street,
100%.
and then
relate.
they'll get it for us. That's it.
I'd hope that if there was a podcast case out there, someone would come and call us.
Yeah,
Like, hey.
if that's how that worked, I think they
Definitely.
would.
I think they should. Greenville PD, call us.
out there.
Call us.
So they begin to check out the raw audio from the recording session. Weird. It's very long. A lot of it is very boring and tedious, but they do get to the part after doing, just kind of like, where's this sound like? What's this? They scrub it. They find the part where she ends up getting killed. And they have this audio, and there's like a weird sound out after it. And at first they think that maybe it's like an inhaler, but then they're like, it's not the inhaler. This whole thing. So they have a lot of, they make the murder board, and they have a lot of folks that could be the killer. But they discovered two things. One, Laurel basically made up the serial killer to boost her career, and it works. But two, Laurel was dying. And so if the killer didn't kill her, she would have died. She would have died anyways. So another podcaster named Katie claims that she also saw the killer, and she is in the true crime space as well. She's kind of an up and comer, so there's like motive there. Like, hey, if I can kill her, then maybe my podcast will take off or whatever. So when they're listening to the audio, they go back and listen to the audio again, and there's another part earlier where she says, "Thank you, Katie." And that's Katie's name. And so say no more. That's all they need.
It's done. Put her in jail for life.
Put her in jail for life. Exactly right. They go and they arrest her, and she's like, I didn't do it. And this doesn't feel right to Alden. Something still feels a little bit off. And what they notice is in the audio of Thanks, Katie, there's that same sound, like a squeak or a something. What is that? It's so crazy. And so they go over to air quote, and Kristen's, or they come over, whatever. They're together to celebrate, and it all clicks in for Alden. Kristen is KD. Kristen Ducksworth, or whatever her name is. Duckburn is KD. When they were over and he found the book, she saw that it was written to KD. And so it's not Katie, it's KD. And he's like, I think this is what's happening. He just says it in front of everybody. And she pulls the gun from Tom's holster and just admits to everything, 100%. I did do it. Here's why. When Laurel found out that she was dying, she tried to make amends with everybody. And she told Katie that she... Sorry, Kristen, KD. I call her KD too.
KD,
I started
of course.
saying it too. That she's going to tell the truth on the podcast about lying about the killer. And she realizes that that's going to be bad for her career because as the publisher, you published a false story and said that it's true. That's not going to be good. So she went in there, killed her, framed it on the Rockdale killer so that it would boost the story even more. Bada bing, bada boom. You have it. And just as she says all of this and she's about to shoot them, the mouse that's in the house,
oh my gosh,
starts crawling up her leg, which throws her off long enough for them to go and get the gun. Not only do they arrest her, but they also solve all the original murders. I think it's actually every murder that's ever happened. I think
that's
they
crazy.
hold
Just quit real quick.
Yeah.
It's a blanket solve.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a blanket solve. And just as the movie's about to end, some
Body once told me the
On
word.
fire today.
really
Right?
good,
Doing the
really
best I
good.
can.
Some badge people come up and they say, "Hey, are you Birdie? We've got some information about your papa, I believe, your dad." And they go on in, and that, my friends, was
The
case is a mystery lane.
Death is listening.
We did it.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we will. Dang it, that's good. Total Request Dead is pretty good. I don't hate that.
I've never. Have you seen Josie and the Pussycats? I've never seen that movie.
No,
I don't know what that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a movie.
it's not.
Great.
We'll be right back here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this program. Pretty serious stuff going on here today. Brian was just about to tell us his third tradition that he is planning to kick off
Give
this
them
holiday season.
all away.
Brian, what's that
After
third
zip line to your
tradition?
tree, I'm
I know.
starting
Once
to think
I've
that
zip
this
lined
list
to the
isn't the real
tree,
list. Yeah.
I think what I'm going to try doing is hiding in the fireplace.
What do you mean?
Just
when you say it?
hanging out in the fireplace.
Hiding up?
Yeah. I'll hide in the fireplace and then try to like trick the kids and think I'm coming out of the fireplace. I'll
So
be
your
all
third
dressed
tradition
up.
is scare them, basically?
Well, try to like inspire. I would look at it as trying to inspire wonderment.
Inspire wonderment?
Yeah.
Are you like dressed up like Santa?
Yeah, like old Saint Nick.
Okay, you didn't
Of
say
a
that.
cap
You didn't
and
say
like
You
a
said,
Kershaw.
I'm gonna hide in the.
A what?
You know, Kershaw, whatever. What is that?
A cat and a Kershaw? I
Yeah,
did see
you
them
know.
live, but I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Kerchief?
Yeah, a kerchief. And I'll
Kershaw.
be up there in the
Kershaw.
old
Bless
chimney.
you.
My neighbor, my Andrew, my neighbor growing up was Andrew Kershaw. Could be the same one.
Maybe he had the
Cat
same
Kershaw,
idea.
maybe his sister?
Yeah.
Cat Kershaw.
So
Great.
that's
This is good
number
stuff. They're getting
3
better,
now.
too.
What's crazy is his sister's name was Caitlin Kershaw, which
Cat
I never.
Kershaw.
Call her
No one
KD?
ever called her Cat Kershaw, and it's all just. Shout out to the Kershaw family. Hope you
Yeah.
guys are doing good.
Shout out.
Hope you guys are doing good. That's a weird one. But you being dressed up like Santa is helpful.
Okay.
You left that out. You
Yeah,
said
that's
that you're
important.
just going to hide.
No, yeah, you got to be dressed up like
Let's
Santa.
talk about The Death is Listening. We're going to start with a hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this movie. Brian.
Yeah, really liked it. I think I liked it more than the first one. I feel like these are getting better. They leaned into the nerddom like right
They
from the
lean
beginning.
real hard in. They're not
Yeah.
leaning. They are
All
fully
in.
jumping.
And
yeah.
right from the
They've
beginning,
lent.
yeah, they've lent. Yeah, they're full on over into Nerdville. And it was like these two are perfect for these roles. Like they played off each other so well. Everyone around them like played it perfectly. The captain or police officer air quotes there.
Yeah.
I remembered him from Wiser Men and a Baby before I remembered him from the last one of these.
He's in a bunch of these.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. But I thought my first thought was, oh, this is a funny little Easter egg. Like he was the mean neighbor, and I'm like, oh right, they do have that history, don't they? So really great. At the end, I'm kind of torn. Like I'm still on the fence on whether this was a genius play or it was a little more standard and just really, really well done. Where the killer, my first gut instinct is obviously it's Kristen because we meet her once and she's gone.
Yeah.
And then we get to Katie being the killer. And my reaction is that's awesome because the whole time I'm thinking it's Kristen. It was a red herring. It was sort of like a hat on a hat. Like they want us to think it's Kristen. It's not Kristen, but oh, it is Kristen. So I don't know if they were doing that intentionally where it's like sort of a wink, like you knew we were going to do this the whole time. No, we're not. Psych. Yes, we are. We did it.
I think if you love the movie like you do, you're going to say
that's what they were doing.
Yeah, I think that is predetermined based upon your love of everything else. I'm not saying that to be. I'm saying that just in honesty. Like when I've loved a movie, I've given it the benefit of the doubt and other things, and when I've not, I don't. I think if you love the movie and you're bought in, then you're like, of course they distracted us from the obvious to go back to the obvious.
I think I'll give it the benefit of the doubt because I don't think it's the guy and the two who wrote it. I think they're husband and wife. And the first one was really fresh. This one had so many things in it that were fun and exciting and like original that I give them the benefit of the doubt. I had a blast with this one, and what a way to end it too with that cliffhanger.
Yep,
unexpected. It wasn't.
I mean, it's not a cliffhanger. It's a new cliff, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
It wasn't like another beforehand.
No. That's what was so great about it. It's like a right turn. It's not like another murder. It's
I was kind of hoping
another type of mystery.
I'm still waiting on the first one of these movies, at least that I've seen. Everybody brings up one that has done it where they don't catch them. Like, you know what I mean? Before we find out that this killer's fake.
Sure.
I thought there was an opportunity here to do that. So, but I mean, it gives you something for the next movie. Hope they make it. It's not a Mystery 101 situation.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not another year and a half. Listen, you said you liked this one more than the first one, and I'll take your word for it. It's been so long, I don't remember. There's so many things that I just didn't remember. But this is a really fun movie. I think overall a well-crafted mystery, and I was intrigued by it. But obviously, what makes this movie is the characters of Alden and Bertie. They are so fun. They're so different. This is a comedy mystery. So much literal laugh out loud moments in this movie, which you don't get a ton of, especially when it comes to the mysteries. But in Hallmark in general is not known for their funny haha laugh out louds. Maybe a smile here or there, but a laugh out loud doesn't happen a ton. These two characters are dynamite. The actors are playing it great, and I can't wait for more of it. I think it's a really, really fun mystery series. And I think they can do a lot of cool things with it. And I agree. The new Cliff, we introduced New Cliff.
New Cliff.
New Hello.
Welcome, Cliff.
Hi, Cliff. Good to see you.
Is that New Cliff?
New Cliff's here. It's unbelievable.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
it's me.
Yeah.
It is.
You look new.
You sound like someone we've heard before, but it's you.
No.
What happened to Old Cliff?
Clear that throat.
I don't talk
You
about
don't
it.
talk to Old
I don't
Cliff.
talk about it.
You would never.
I didn't kill him.
Yeah, we didn't say that.
No, no one. You're.
I don't think-
why
You
did
brought me in on Mister. You brought me in
but
on the mystery.
You brought up that someone killed him.
No.
I didn't say anyone killed me.
No.
Old Cliff.
Words right in your mouth.
No. And I'm not going to talk
I
about it.
thought New Cliff would be better.
I honestly
Than Old
don't,
Cliff.
don't know
Do
how
you
we
want
got
to see
here.
a magic trick?
No.
Oh, now we're good.
New Cliff's a magician.
got
New
tricks?
Cliff's the worst.
Oh, we don't like tricks?
No.
I like
What
the
is
cereal.
it? Can you describe? Oh, okay.
Great.
All right, I got to go.
Yep.
Thanks,
Thanks,
New Cliff.
Yeah.
Dan, what'd you think?
Yeah, no second movie has made me want to watch the first one more than this one did, but I don't think it's for the reasons that you would hope. I think the thing about this series is that Amy Garcia and Paul Campbell are wonderful and they have a lot of fun playing, and that brings these to life. I thought, having said that, I need to say that up front and establish that these two are great, one, and two, they should, as we've been banging the drum for around here for a while, keep making these instead of throwing out mysteries that aren't good, seeing if we need to start a new wheel. I would like one of these every 6 months. I need to make that clear. I thought this was worse in every way possible than the first one. And first of all, the case of the first one, I remember them being this murder in the law office and them trying to establish a time of alibi, and it didn't make sense. And they had a very clever way for why it did make sense. And I remember being very impressed by that. So the case for this one wasn't as good to me. I think you gave it the benefit of the doubt. I thought it was fairly obvious what was going on there. I also think the whole reveal and how it goes down, I'll save it for a wait what, didn't work for me. I also think, like, from the first scene of this movie, I was like, why are these characters, Paul Campbell in particularly, why is he going so hard? Like, why is he just so animated with it? Like, he was doing a full Jim Carrey in this movie, and it's funny. I'm not here to tell you it's not funny, and Paul Campbell can do it. But I was like, was he like this in the first movie? I went back and watched. I watched about 10 minutes on mute. I watched a little bit more with the sound on. He's not like this. He isn't. He cares deeply about being a private investigator. He's a nerd. He has some of these tendencies. He doesn't spend every waking moment fidgeting and dancing and talking about every nerd thing imaginable. Now, maybe that was intentional. Maybe they did this on purpose to lean into this, and that's the direction they're going, which is fine. So while I did enjoy this movie, while I do want them to make more of these, the first one's better. In my opinion, the first one's better across the board. Story better, acting better, everything better. I did laugh more in this one. Yeah. I laughed more in this one. They went for the jokes. I think that a lot of the jokes do work. So I will say I laughed more. I like the other one better across the board. Not even my favorite mystery of the year. But it is something I want to see regularly on Hallmark Mystery.
It's time for all the feels. We're talking about one this movie gives feels. Brian?
Yeah. I feel like there was like a level of ingenuity in the pranks that they really were allowed to incorporate here that aren't normally part of it, where he did one thing, Paul did, where he was holding the 6-pack of root beer and Kristen grabs it from him.
And he just picks up one.
He pulls one up, and I laughed out loud. And my son, Ethan, was watching with me. He laughed too. And he goes, why was that funny? And I was just like, I don't know, man. It just was. Like, that was just a funny move.
If you're somebody that brews your own root beer, that's exactly what you would do in that situation.
That is such a clever touch. Like, it was so great. And then he rolled in the bed again, which was a callback from the first movie. He did that, and he still did that, which was a really funny thing. And just the mousetrap that they built, they actually delivered on, and we got to see it. So I feel like they were allowed to play a lot in this movie. And I laughed out loud multiple times. And so real big payoff there.
My feels was gonna be the mouse because I didn't expect it to be my feels, and I didn't expect it to work or be a part of it. And the fact that they set this thing up and they just throughout the movie went back to it every once in a while, and then it ultimately being the thing that threw the killer off. And then the mousetrap work, like all of these little things in my it shouldn't work. It's so dumb, but it did work for me, and so I will give it my feels.
The mouse is part of my feels. I want to be very clear. I think the mouse doesn't work at all. I think it's a huge wait what for this movie. I think that's one of the reasons it's worse than the first one. But I got what I would describe as McGee and me feels. If you were a youngster raised in the church in the late 80s, early 90s, then you got to watch, instead of real cartoons, you got to watch a little television program called McGee and Me, where there's a guy named Nick, and he draws and he invents things, and he has a cartoon of his named McGee come to life to teach him lessons straight from the Bible. But at the beginning of every episode of McGee and Me, there is a whole contraption that he's made that does something very basic. I don't know what it is. Sharpens his pencil. I don't know what it does. It does something very basic. And watching the mousetrap at the end of this movie made me feel like I was watching a VHS tape of one of the many episodes of McGee and Me that I got to watch growing up. And that made me happy.
Were you more McGee or me?
Me.
Yeah, you would.
The more you think about McGee and Me, the more it's like weird. I talked to this nobody else can see him. Cartoons giving me advice.
We all had imaginary friends
that were giving you life lessons.
Sometimes,
really, you had an imaginary friend that gave you life lessons.
Just gotta talk it
straight
out.
from the Bible.
You just got to talk it out.
Who is your imaginary friend that gave you life lessons straight from the Bible?
Don't say Jesus.
No, I wouldn't say
it.
It's not imaginary.
Amen.
Invisible, I'd say the spirit.
Once again,
not imaginary.
Not imaginary. This is a cartoon.
So 0 for 2 here.
That's like maybe 3 inches tall, and it's giving him
I don't have a problem with it. I think it's
Great.
kids being kids.
Great.
You know what I mean?
Awesome. This is pre-Veggie Tales. This is a pre-Veggie Tales, right?
Broccoli, celery. Got to be VeggieTales. Let's take a quick break. We will come back and get to the Wait What and the What the Hallmark here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody. It's Deck the Hallmark. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful day. Hopefully, you're watching us on Philo, philo.tv/DTH.
The good
Hello,
stuff.
it's us. It's great to be here. And hopefully, after you watch this, you watch something else.
You feel good about joining there, Brian?
Yeah, man. Wasn't I right in on that?
You were right in.
Did you do it?
I didn't do it, and I wasn't. It wasn't because I was trying to not do something. I just was like, Brand's gonna wave, and then I looked up, and by the time you were both doing, I was like, this is
We'll
this
do
is
it
done.
for the fine. Listen,
fine-
they
That's
say
right.
they
Pay
pay the
their
monthly.
money. That's right. Oh, of course,
Brian, come
Thank
on.
you so much.
All right, we'll do it in post.
oh,
we'll get
shucks.
him. We'll
You're
bring
gonna
him
have- we'll
in.
do it,
It's
yeah.
going to be
Didn't realize my head was down.
Easy
No one's
editing.
gonna know. It's time for the Wait What. So we're talking about what in this movie made us go wait what, Brian?
Yeah, like we've established, I'm giving this movie the benefit of the doubt, but I do feel like if you're a local police department and you need some extra resources,
You're not doing this.
You're gonna go up the chain.
That's right.
Versus
Not
like
out in the streets.
Not
Outsource
out there. You go
local.
up the chain, not out the chain.
yeah,
Everyone knows
out the front
Yeah.
door to the curb and
The
get
police
the
have enough
neighbors.
problems. Can you imagine them just
Boy.
grabbing folks that they know?
Yeah, head
this is
into
my
the
girlfriend's friend from
suburbs,
high
yeah.
school. She's going to come in and talk to these
Oh man,
suspects for murder.
she's not biased. They have no bias.
No,
Don't worry.
none.
They've been fully trained.
It's just my
Don't
girlfriend's
worry.
friend from high school.
Yeah.
She's
So-
good at it.
Yeah, yeah,
So is her husband. They're nerds.
yeah. I'll be right there the whole time.
They're
Nothing will
suspects
go-
for murder. It's not a big deal. It's just people's lives.
Yeah.
It's not
So-
stupid MBD.
Not maybe mention the FBI.
Maybe.
Just maybe
Maybe.
mention or like the big city police. I don't know.
Or hear me out.
yeah.
Let him go because you don't have anything to hold him on.
Ooh.
Maybe. That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But maybe do that instead of bringing a nerd. You know any nerds?
You could.
I got two.
You got two?
But they are friends of
could.
mine. I bring them in. It doesn't matter.
That's fine.
One of them was that she bought a book on lockpicking, but then I realized I was probably right on character for her because she probably did watch a bunch of videos on lockpicking and then
I
thought,
think-
I'm gonna get a book on this too.
I think for mine, it was the size of the book.
Giant book.
It wasn't the fact that there are plenty of books on lockpicking. I would
Real
assume.
big book.
I can't imagine it being the length of a Harry Potter. I
There is
can't
a,
imagine it being a 400-page.
It's every lock.
Like, yes, this is how you pick a lock for 400 straight pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel out there called the Lock Picking Expert, and people send him in to
No.
a PO box a lock
That's cool.
that they think is going to be difficult for him to pick. And the main takeaway watching that series is anyone can break into your house
Yeah.
at any time. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah. I
no
don't wanna
real
hear
good
that.
locks
I don't
out
wanna
there.
hear
So
that.
You heard it first here on Deck the Hallmark, everybody.
Yeah.
You're not safe out
you're
there.
not safe. You're not safe out there. Lock your doors, but it's
you want.
only for your own
Yeah, it's
comfort.
just in your own head.
It's not going to keep them out.
Security system. Are you secretly sponsored by a security system?
Maybe I am.
CPI, promo code DECK.
Oh, what's this? It's a Cove? It's a Cove security
Cove?
system. This is crazy. Pine Cove.
Pine Cove.
Yeah. The
Oh, yes.
one last one.
Still Bry, if you can believe it.
Another thing was just the news crew being outside the podcast studio at the moment
Yes.
when she
Immediately.
snuck in and having the
Before
dash
murder
cam.
happened.
Yeah. Or when Katie was sneaking in.
That's
When
right.
Katie
Before
was
she
pretending.
said she'd seen
Exactly.
the killer,
And
they
she-
were already there for some
Yes,
reason.
just reporting, I guess, regularly. And she just, even though she probably saw that news camera there, that news crew, she continued to proceed with her
Yeah.
fake accostation. I don't know if that's a
Wow.
word, but that
It
word, it
isn't.
felt right.
There's no way it
feels,
is.
feels
That
right.
was strong.
That was
strong.
it, yeah.
And you have one more, your fourth.
One more tradition.
Oh,
Hit
you
me.
want to now?
Just two
Now.
words. Hit me.
Import snow.
Okay. Yeah. You don't want to give that one away. that is a
I
really
have,
good one.
I have ways that I'm
one.
thinking.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Well,
give
that's
those
a
away.
business idea, too.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That's pretty good.
TM.
So there is
think you can TM that.
a joke in here that worked really well, but she's in
Just clouds.
a hot yoga class, and he comes barging in, and he's eating donuts, and he's humming along, and he's like, "I thought there would be
Another
a
room.
Oh,
thought there'd be a
Classic.
room
man.
before the room," and
Maybe my favorite part of this movie.
100% there should be a room before the room.
Dude.
There
right?
should be
That
a room before the room.
There has to
You
be.
can't walk into
a
studio.
in
You
a
can't do
sacred
that,
space
dude.
like that, you need a room before the room.
I did
You
this.
need it. You did this once?
But it was when I was in high school. It was at a girlfriend's house. And I've never been to her house.
You said it like it was fake.
And it was
It was at a girlfriend. Is that what you call them?
Like,
Girlfriend's house.
You know, you have girlfriends when you're younger. Like it's nothing real serious.
I don't, but yeah, I understand.
But the front of the house
idea.
looked like it was a screened porch, and so I just opened the door, and turns out living room. Her dad's sitting there watching TV, and it's the first time I've met him.
You thought
it was a
door was
screened-in porch?
Yeah, when you're walking up,
And
it
you wanna
looks
import
like
snow.
it looks like a screened porch, and it wasn't. It was just the front of the house. Yeah, man, awful.
What? That doesn't make any. I'm going to need to see a picture of this house.
No.
Okay, I could probably look up that.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd probably look it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the funny part of that scene for you was just him walking in and saying, "There's no room." It wasn't the "Namaste, Namago" joke.
No, it was 100%.
I mean, that's a good joke, but
The joke is fine,
okay.
but him walking into a
Oh,
yoga
there
studio.
should be a room before the room.
There should be a room
absolutely.
before
The
the
fact
room.
that there's no,
I've been in yoga studios where it's not.
you walk in and there's always a desk, something to check in,
Yeah.
something. The idea that he walked in and he was cinnamon roll in his mouth, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was.
You gotta
Because he wasn't, that's the thing is if you and I did that, my first thought isn't I'm sorry. If I walk into a
that's
yoga
I
studio
can't get in trouble for this.
in the middle
Yeah.
of a yoga practice, I'm going to be like, I'm really sorry. But if I walk in there, I am not saying I'm sorry. There should be a room before.
should
Like
be a room
I'm
before
like,
the room. There's at
what
least
are we
some sort
doing?
of a waiting area.
something that says, or like a thing on the door that says the yoga's in session or something.
Yeah.
Yoga's in session.
There should be a room before the room.
Speaking of this hot yoga studio, she does talk about her podcast, and she says that it's Fire Breathe with a Y for fire. And
Yeah, that's not what
my
you
thought
want.
is like Firefest has ruined any usage of fire with a Y.
Yeah.
If you want to be taken seriously, you can't or if you're trying to use it in earnest, unironically, you can't use a Y in fire anymore. Firefest ruined it for everybody. Unless you want your podcast to be a disaster, then go for it. But yeah, that was my first thought when she said that was you can't. I mean, this too is ruined. It's been ruined. A good Y in the fire has been ruined. Thanks a lot, Firefest. Go ahead.
Oh, it's her last name. There you go.
Yeah, look,
She's Wintrust Fire.
you got to change it for the podcast. People are they're not gonna take you seriously.
Yeah.
they're not gonna take you seriously. Is all I'm saying. Go ahead, Dano.
Yeah, a flashlight to the face wakes anyone not sedated up. And I stand by that.
Especially when they just fell asleep. She
Yeah,
just
you
started
can't
snoring.
Possibly, we've lost Brian to trying
He's
to
looking, he's
figure out this house screen.
No, and I
picture.
appreciate it.
But if you fall asleep 5 minutes ago,
Saw the
2
front door. I thought it
seconds
was a
ago,
screen. I don't know.
Yeah, flashlight to the face wakes. I know this because my kids have shined a flashlight in my face before. It wakes anyone up that isn't sedated. Period. No questions asked. Sarsaparilla and root beer are different. That doesn't matter to anyone unless you brew your own root beer. And Brandon and I were talking about this. If you're someone who's nerdy enough to brew your own root beer, God bless you. I would like to try that root beer.
I would love to.
But also, if somebody calls it a sarsaparilla, you're going to be like, no, it's not sarsaparilla. It's root beer. Paul Campbell's character uses them interchangeably. No way, no how. My biggest problem with this movie is that there is absolutely zero proof that this woman committed this murder. She wore gloves. She wore a coat. No one has anything. There is someone saying Katie that could be KD, could be Katie. There is a squeak of a duck that we don't know what it is. Best case scenario, circumstantial evidence. There is no proof whatsoever that she murdered this person, and she jumps right to taking a gun out of the holster of a police officer. Why did you do that? There is literally someone in custody named Katie that happened to be in the building.
Yeah.
Your chances are really good to not get caught here. What in the world are you thinking, giving yourself up like
Yeah,
that?
I will say though, her ability to put on the silencer on that gun leads me to believe this is not her
Not
first
her first,
rodeo.
not her last.
It's not the first time she's killed
Spun
somebody.
that thing on there like a top. No
Easy.
questions asked. I got a couple more. The mouse in this movie is chewing perfectly round holes in everything, which God bless you for having the manners to chew perfectly round holes and even helping them on their investigation. At one point, Birdie is able to see the storage shed logo because the mouse has chewed a perfect hole in the newspaper directly where the storage logo is behind it. It's like the mouse is omniscient in this movie, chewing perfect circles everywhere just to help out. At one point in this movie, they go to teach a salsa class, which I guess allows them to do the slow-mo funny montage, which is apparently a part of every Paul Campbell movie now since Santa's Stakeout. It's a requirement that they do a walk slowly for laughs. And they do
Works
that
every time.
It works every time. It doesn't not work. But once they're there, you would assume that she would stay and teach the salsa class and he would sneak off to go do the investigation.
Yeah.
No. They both start the salsa class and then they leave the salsa class and they leave a bunch of people in an assisted living facility completely unattended.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Yeah, they got
doing
the
And
group
then
of
you
elderly
salsa,
people
we're
walking
outta
around in
here.
a circle
Just doing
for.
the
I don't
fun line.
understand.
Just keep going until I get back.
It's a perfect plan if he just pops off and he goes and does the investigation and she stays. Why didn't they do that? I don't
she
understand.
clearly knows salsa. He clearly doesn't. So just let him go. He knows he's gonna
And
miss him.
we've done enough podcasting around here to know that it takes a little bit of work. We would tell you who produces the show. It's produced by Aaron Shea. We tell you a lot about the show. What I can also tell you is a super duper famous author turned true crime podcaster is not in the studio by herself laying down bars.
Right.
She's just not. Like, that is not how that... She doesn't show up and go, I'm going to do a little section where I reveal who the real killer is by myself, unattended, with no producer, making sure the mics are working, the levels are right. She just rolls in, locks the door, and is like, I'm on my own here. No way, no how. Maybe the most unbelievable part of this movie is that right there. That's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark is, where we wonder what could have been. Maybe have it get some clarity to any questions that we still have. Brian, what are you still wondering about that you'd like some answers to?
Yeah, the only thing that really stuck with me, everything else just seemed to align perfectly, was how did Laurel get the evidence boxes? Did we get that she stole them? Yeah, but how do you get to a place where you can just walk out with evidence? Like, I guess, yeah, maybe before they...
All bets were off in the 90s.
I guess
do
so,
whatever
but
you
she
wanted
just
to.
seemed to have...
McGee and Me was on TV.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Just a lot of access.
Better time.
Yeah, I guess. That was it.
They're handing What the Hallmarks on platters now because Paul Campbell, apparently last time they hung out with a couple, it ended with him cutting someone's hair during a game of charades.
Just crazy.
I mean,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Can't just throw that away.
You said that line in passing, and you don't expect us to grab it. What I wish that was a flashback scene because it sounds hilarious. Dano?
Yeah. Don't they? I maybe have just wrote this down. I don't remember. Don't they call Amy Garcia Birdie a different name when they come to the door at the end of the movie? Or is it just her
I think it's
official name?
It's her
maiden name.
Maiden.
Her maiden name. Okay.
I believe.
So if that's the case, then my other one was the cutting the hair thing. I don't have another
Okay,
one. So
great.
we're good.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. Come back tomorrow for another episode. Who knows what it is? I don't know. And then, Brian, you're going to lead the people with your fifth tradition.
Yeah, it's the stockings are something else
Merry
this year.
Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.